Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and my next guest is getting ready to make the move to welterweight on August 6th. It's Bryan Battle, the former Ultimate Fighter winner. How's it going, Bryan?
It's going well. Thank you for having me today, brother.
Absolutely, man. And first off, obviously a lot has changed since we last talked. You're making this move down to 170 pounds. Take me through that process of when you decided to make that move, and how pumped are you for this opportunity?
So the process, it was pretty interesting because it wasn't intentional. You know what I mean? My last fight with Trey, I mean, normally I have to cut 15 to 20 pounds. When I was cutting to 85, the worst weight cut I've ever did was I was 222 on Monday, and I got down to 187 by Friday, and then that was amateur, so we had to fight the day of. You know what I mean? So I'm used to pretty gnarly weight cuts, and I was fighting Trey, and I didn't have to do any sauna work. I did some grappling with some sweats on the night before, and then I woke up on weight, and it was just as nice as it was, it definitely it felt a little weird. And there's something spiritual about cutting weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, people talk a lot of junk about it, but there's something spiritual about suffering before you go to war. And so I figured after the Tresean fight, I'd put on some weight. That's actually what the goal was to, get bigger and stronger and faster. And so I started doing some athletic training, some weight training, and I did get stronger. I did get faster. I'm more athletic than I was when I fought Trey. But instead of gaining weight, I was losing weight, and it was weird. I wasn't trying. People they were like, hey, be careful, you don't want to lose all your strength and blah blah blah. I was like, man, dude, I'm not trying, man. I'm eating all my protein, I'm doing all this. And so about 3 weeks, 4 weeks after the Trey fight, I did a test cut to see if I could get there. And after the test cut went well, I hit up my manager and I was like, yo, I'm a welterweight now. Let's run it.
That's awesome, man. If you don't mind me asking, what's your walk around weight usually?
I used to walk around like pre-tough. I used to walk around like 210, 215. But that was with a full-time job, and what I'm saying, doing the best I could. Now my walk around weight's about 95. And so that was just like, and that's 95 if I'm just eating, not eating bad necessarily, but eating still what I want and drinking as much as I want. Like, I can, as long as I'm training, I'll just sit right at 95. So, right now I'm in the 80s. I'm in the mid to high 80s. Cause it was about time to cut weight, as little weight as we can cut possible. That's the best way to go. But, yeah, man, it's just, I'm just totally different physically than when I first got introduced to everybody.
That's awesome, man. And let's talk a little bit about your opponent. Takashi Sato obviously has a lot of experience in the sport. Obviously, a good matchup for you as well. What are your thoughts on the matchup and just kind of how things will play out?
Man, no, like, I can't tell you how excited I am when I got when I heard I was fighting Takashi, and I looked him up and I seen all the people that he's fought. You know what I'm saying? Fighting people like Gunnar Nelson and Bilal Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Even Baez, you know what I'm saying? Knocking out Ben Saunders, you know what I'm saying? I used to watch Ben Saunders when I was a kid. So, he's seen a lot, you know what I'm saying? He's done a lot. And, this is a great opportunity for me to really make a statement. And, you know what I'm saying? A win like this really, lets everyone know that I'm a bona fide UFC fighter. I'm not just a reality TV star. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just someone who won the contest and got lucky and got a contract. Like, I'm the real deal. You know what I mean? And I can continue progressing upward. So Takashi, he's a really tough dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to beat him.
Is it a bit of a relief to move past the Tresean Gore rivalry and all that, and the Ultimate Fighter and everything that came with that, and now just focusing on what's next?
Yeah, I'd like to play it cool and say that it is what it is, but retrospectively, in preparing for this fight, yeah, it has been a lot less pressure because I don't have to, there's always something to prove, right? There's always, like, statements to be made, but that particular one, especially since I had known Trey such a long time and I'd wanted that fight for such a long time. He wanted that fight for such a long time. he was bigger than tough. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, like getting that win, and just getting past, like you said, all that tough stuff. You know, it I won't say it's a relief, but I'm more excited. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit less tense getting ready for this fight, and a little bit more excitement getting ready for this fight.
That's awesome, man. I remember the last time we spoke, I think it was right before the fight with Tresean Gore. Just kind of take me through those moments of winning the Ultimate Fighter trophy and moving past that and, moving past that Tresean Gore bout.
Well, there's really not a whole lot to say that hasn't already been said. It's I told everyone before I went on the show that I was going to win, and people thought, they were like, hey, is this just a little test run? Is this something you're doing just to see where you stand? I was like, no, I'm winning the competition. And then I won the show. And then, people were still saying that, there was this guy where if he would have fought me, then he would have beat me. And so, just getting all that done, just knowing that I was a part of the Ultimate Fighter, and like now not only did I win the show, but I answered questions after I won the show. It's cool. Like it's 100%. Like I'm very happy that things ended up playing out the way that they did. But I'm not here to sit on that pedestal forever. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to. Like I said, I feel like Takashi is the toughest person I've ever fought. He's definitely like has the most experience of anybody that I've ever fought. He's fought the highest level of competition of anybody I ever fought. So, everything about Tough was incredible. Like I'm excited to fight on the same card as the Tough finalists from this past season. Talk to them. See if we got any mutual stories or whatnot. But yeah. I'm excited to have a UFC fight just be a UFC fight. Have nothing to do with Tough except for me. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing about it was that I won Tough. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I mean, it's cool. It's something that I'll always like look back on really fondly. Anytime like after finishing this past season of Tough, I had to go back and watch my episodes. You know what I'm saying? It got me all nostalgic and whatnot. But yeah, I'm ready to move on and make some new memories.
Absolutely, man. And looking forward, I feel like making this move down to welterweight, obviously a big advantage that you're going to have over a lot of welterweights is your size and your reach, right? So do you feel like that could be a big advantage for you as you make this move into the welterweight division?
Oh yeah, 100%. For a multitude of reasons, at middleweight, I felt like my frame was great at middleweight. I had no problem size wise at middleweight. But just the fact that I can get down another weight class, and there's still guys who are bigger and stronger than me at welterweight. So I'm not delusional. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm the biggest physical specimen in the division, but I'm a specimen nonetheless. I've been using this analogy. If people are watching my interviews, they're going to hear this analogy over and over again, but I don't care because I love this analogy. I've been watching a lot of F1, and it's something I've noticed since I've been watching it is, you can have the best car like out of everybody, but if you don't have the best driver, you'll win some races, but you're not going to be a champion. You know what I'm saying? You could have the best driver on your team, but if you don't have a good car to supplement that driver, you're going to win some races, but you're not going to be a champ, but when you can get a really good driver and a really good guard together, then magic happens. You know what I'm saying? And so, everything that happens with my body, you know what I'm saying? I treat it like, it's a Formula One race car. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tweak it all the time, trying to figure out how I can be faster, how it can be stronger, and, make my vehicle like a world championship caliber vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, this driver up here, things don't change. You know what I'm saying? I got to stay mentally sharp, mentally focused, and so, I've always had the mental, you know what I'm saying? I think, just guts and will to win has gotten me to where I have been, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm leveling the playing field physically, which should be a scary thing to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a really good point too, because I feel like especially casual MMA fans, they don't realize that it's a physical and a mental sport as well, right? So it's like just kind of talk about the development of your mental game. Obviously, you you mentioned how it's always been a big part of your game, but what are some of the biggest difference in your mental game from the beginning of your career to now?
Well, the beginning of my career, it was just work. You know what I'm saying? I was always playing catch up. I started training at 21. I had my first fight at 22. And the whole time, uh, even as an amateur, I'm fighting guys who, were national qualifiers in college wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Or knockout artists. I fought several undefeated guys as an amateur, who, on paper I had no business even being in the ring with. You know what I'm saying? And just working hard. As cliche as it sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like I got up and I just worked, and there was only like one thing I cared about, which was winning. Like even before, like I was working, like looking back, it kind of like makes me laugh because I didn't realize how hard it would be to get here. You know what I'm saying? So I was working kind of irrationally hard from the jump. You know what I'm saying? And I just always knew that if I like worked my ass off, you know what I'm saying, I'd get here eventually. And so that's just kind of like the mental thing. It's like, okay, I might not be the wrestler that this guy is. I might not be the striker that this guy is, but like, God damn it. Like if this fight lasts longer than 2 minutes, I'm gonna mess him up. You know what I'm saying? So that was really, and you can look at a lot of my early amateur fights. There's not a whole lot going on. You know what I'm saying? There is not a whole lot going on except for me like desperately trying to wear people down and get the W. And so now mentally it's just like my confidence overall as a martial artist is just exploded. You know what I'm saying? Like my striking has come such a long way. Shout out to my coaches, saying Sensei Tom, who's been there since day one, laying down principles that we were going over years ago that are just coming to fruition now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, Keith Richardson, he just signed with the PFL, you know what I'm saying? The underpaid assassin, just sharing his knowledge of the game, my former coaches, Sensei Kevin, Sensei Tony, now I'm at taking boxing privates, you know what I'm saying, working on little details, John Piper at Charlotte Jiu-Jitsu. I've been extremely fortunate to be around some great minds, people who are willing to like pour into you. And I just did my part, which was just showing up and working hard, And so, like mentally, my confidence, like now my physical ability is where, my my brain is like always saw myself, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, just that. And there was, since I've gotten to the UFC, there's been a little bit of a shift too, because just being in the locker room with all those guys, you're looking around at all these guys from all over the world, you know what I'm saying? And everyone in the UFC has a little bit of a different look in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna say that we're like war veterans or something, but they're a little bit colder, you know what I'm saying?
It's infectious.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an aura when you walk past a UFC fighter, and there's just a bunch of monsters and killers in the back. Like I'm looking around, I'm like, damn, man, there's a lot of monsters and killers back here, and it's something where now I'm getting home, I'm happy I won the fight, but I'm thinking about all those guys that I was just looking at. I'm like, dude, I gotta fight those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I gotta fight those guys, and I'm not just here to fight them. I'm not just here to be in the ring with them. I gotta beat them. So, that means I got to turn myself into a monster. I got to turn myself into a killer. And so that's probably one of the biggest mental shifts, was just that realization.
Yeah, and absolutely. And let's look a little ahead to some of these potential matchups in the welterweight division. Obviously, I know you're not looking past Takashi, very tough opponent, but obviously there's a lot of exciting matchups in the welterweight division, top to bottom, plenty of awesome style matchups. Are there a few guys that you kind of want to check off your list when it comes to moving up in the welterweight division and guys that you could face down the line?
Well, I mean, off the rip, Ian Garry, where you at, baby? You know what I'm saying? Let me bust Ian Garry's face. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. But I mean, outside of that, I'm here to climb the ranks. I mean, specifically, like I'm not gonna give too much of a politically correct question because at the end of the day, I'm here to bust people's faces and collect money. So I'll do whoever they put in front of me. I'll fight. But with that being said, I mean the great thing about being in the welterweight division is that there's guys at the top of the division who are like legends of the game that I'm looking forward to fight. Already like the champ Kamaru. You know what I'm saying? Colby, that would be incredible. Jorge, you know what I'm saying? All of these guys that I'm nowhere near close to fighting right now, but the climb to those guys is and then getting there will be exciting. And then there's a bunch of young guys, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of young killers, Ian, undefeated, you know what I'm saying, putting on impressive performances to some people, not very impressive to me, but Rachmanov, you know what I'm saying? He's out here killing people. I can't wait to fight that guy. You know what I'm saying? I hope he stays undefeated until we fight one day. Sean Brady, you know what I'm saying? Another guy who people think is terrifying. I hope he stays undefeated until we fight one day. And, I'm going to be watching Khamzat versus Nate Diaz. You know what I'm saying? That's, someone like Khamzat, like that would be an incredible fight. You know what I'm saying? Like what? You talk about monsters. That's like a monster to slay right there. You know what I'm saying? Like people would be thanking me. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many. Like I said, I'm not picky. You know what I'm saying? I'm a prize fighter. You know what I'm saying? I fight for money, but I'm definitely looking at those guys that everyone else is paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? I want to fight those guys. You know what I mean? So, but once, like you said, one step at a time. I'm not watching tape on any of those guys. I'm watching tape on Takashi. I'm not training for those guys yet. I'm training for Takashi. So. One thing at a time. I'll handle Takashi, and then we'll move on to the next victim afterwards.
What have you made of Ian Garry's last few performances?
Dude, I mean, they've been solid. You know what I'm saying? They've been solid. I can't say anything bad. I don't think he's lost any of the rounds, any of those fights. I mean, his last fight was a little bit closer, but I mean, he's gone out there and handled everybody. Now, with that being said, I think the guys who he's fighting they're just giving him like way too much respect. And then at the same time, when they are trying to hit him, they're not being defensively sound enough. You know what I'm saying? And, I think I'm a terrible matchup for him. You know what I'm saying? Watching those fights, I know it'd be a tough fight. I know I'd get hit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to hit him more. You know what I'm saying? So, it would be a lot of fun. I think the fans would really appreciate a fight between us, But like I said, you know what I'm saying? You got me, man. I'm not even thinking about Ian Garry right now. I'm thinking about Takashi Sato.
I totally got you, man. Before we go, a couple more questions. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. Obviously, we have a big UFC card this weekend, man. Amanda Nunes and Julianna Pena there at the top. What's your prediction for that one?
Yeah, no, it's Julianna Pena, I lost a bet to my nephew. I owed him like $30 after that, and I fell asleep during the last fight because I thought Nunes was just gonna smoke her. You know what I'm saying? So, and this one, there's still reason to believe that Nunes is gonna come out and do what she does. You know what I'm saying? That she had a wake up call, and there's reason to believe that Julianna, is gonna come out there and do the same exact thing, that she has Amanda's number. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Julianna. But it's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like my brain and heart are a little divided on this one. You know what I'm saying? My brain is telling me to go with Amanda. My heart's telling me that Julianna is just like, you know what I'm saying? She inspires me a little bit. Watching that fight was inspiring. I got goosebumps rewatching it. You know what I'm saying? So I want her to win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pick her to win.
Awesome, man. Can't wait for that fight as well. Last question for me. What can fans expect against Takashi Sato?
I mean, for one, they can expect the most refined version of Bryan Battle that they've seen up to this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be best physical, the most technical, the meanest version, the most cerebral version of Bryan Battle that they've seen up to this point. Besides that, they can expect a high pace, a lot of pressure, and a lot of action. You know what I'm saying? Takashi, if you bring the action to him, he responds with some action back. So, I'm definitely going to try to push him, make him a little uncomfortable, see if I can make him make some mistakes. And if he doesn't make mistakes, then I'm just going to beat him up, anyways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get him out of there within 2 rounds, but, that's no disrespect to Takashi, that's more of like I just feel good right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm putting a lot of people away in 2 rounds, right? In under 2 rounds. So that's how I feel going into this fight. You know, whether it goes on the ground or whether it stays on the feet, I feel like I'm getting them out of there within 2.
We're looking forward to it, man. Before we wrap things up, I'll give you the floor to shout out any sponsors you have, social media, your team, all that good stuff. I'll give you the final word.
All right. Instagram, Bryan Battle 68. Do not follow Poo_Battle_68. That got hacked. Don't follow that one. Bryan Battle 68 on Instagram. Bryan Battle 10 on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Twitter's always a good time. Shout out to, Tom Ziegler. Shout out to Tom Ziegler, like I said earlier, Keith Richardson, Coach James, John Piper. They've all been great. They've all poured a lot into me over this fight camp and even before the fight camp. And Jed at at Velocity, you know what I'm saying? I'd be out of my mind if I didn't mention the guys who's been working with me athletically. Shout out to Iridium Sports and Jason House. You know what I'm saying? He's killing the game on the management end. Sponsor wise, I gotta think.
You're good.
Hayabusa, Blacklight Tattoo. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of sponsors, you know what I'm saying? There's like some team sponsors. I don't have a whole lot of personal sponsors. So I'm just going to say that I love my family, love my wife. My dad's going to be in my corner for this fight, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to all my teammates who, went to war with me over the past several months to help me get ready for anybody, and specifically Takashi once I got the match. You know what I'm saying? There's so much thanks to go around. You know what I'm saying? Because, it really does take a team to build you into what you got to be to take out these dudes. So
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, Bryan, I always appreciate these sit downs. It was great to talk to you again, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you have a good one. All right.